one of our biggest focuses has always been relationships, um, with each other and the company and with clients and all.
Hey, Eric, glad to have you with me today.
What's up, man? How's it going?
It's going good. Yeah, I'm excited for the conversation today. Before we get too deep in the weeds, I guess, how did you get into the whole crazy world of construction?
Yeah, my I grew up in Maryland, and my dad has done remodeling his whole life. So me and my three younger brothers grew up having to do remodeling. We had to help with like side jobs and stuff like that, and do stuff around the house.
So not
So
by
we,
choice, yeah.
yeah, not by choice. Um, yeah, and then moving out to Nebraska 8 years ago, started this company 7 years ago, and yeah, been going on ever since.
Yeah, that's cool.
Short
So
version. Yeah.
yeah, I'm always curious, like you made the move kind of, I guess, partway across the country. Was
Uh,
the intent to move and start a business? Because those are two bigger life events, I guess.
yeah, yeah. No, that was not the plan. I had a job working for another contractor at the time. But then his work was drying up, and I was starting to get some side work, and then started it really just out of necessity to pay the bills and feed the kids, kind of thing. And then named it and branded it, and then kind of took off from there.
Yeah, that's cool.
Mm.
I feel like a lot of businesses get formed that way out of necessity, or
Yeah,
you're kind of
yeah,
like, doing something on the side, and you're like, oh, this could become the main thing.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
I'm curious. You guys have a very unique, I feel like, name and brand that you've built up. When you first thought of the name, like, what did that process look like? I'm curious if it was like super intentional, or it was just kind of like, yeah, that sounds good, and then it evolved. Like, how did that start?
Yeah. It was my wife who suggested the name initially, but she suggested as a joke, and I was like, "Oh, that actually is pretty good." I mean, I loved it. I knew I didn't want. We were new to the market and didn't know anybody. I didn't have any connections, so I needed to stand out and be different. And I didn't want to be just another remodeling company in town, kind of thing. So yeah, we came up with that, and then it just kind of worked, and it seemed to fit, and yeah, people were attracted to it, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. So I feel like this space is very unique in that there's a ton of family oriented businesses, ones that have been around for
Yeah,
generations. And a lot of times it's attached to the name, like
right.
Johnson Remodeling or whatever it is. And
Mm.
so, what has been your experience in kind of carving out a different path, saying, hey, this sounds a little different. I think it works, but why do you think people are drawn to it? Or like, you were new, so you have to carve out this totally new space,
Yeah.
but as those first few customers were coming, or like, did people comment on it? I'm just curious, like, why you think that actually ended up working.
Yeah, it's a good question, and I don't know. I mean, I have guesses, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's it kind of positions a playful interaction, I guess, initially. It kind of piques curiosity a little bit. Um, we get asked, a lot of the same questions every time, but that the name or brand kind of sparks that they want to know something a little more. Uh, and so I think that, and just the playfulness of it, um, yeah, has made it a little interesting to people, and um, has made it seem like a maybe more of a personality than just a name.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Yeah,
feels like more approachable, I guess, from from the
yeah,
outside looking in, and also I
right,
think
right,
your
right.
brand is it feels more modern too, whereas maybe some of
Mm,
the other names you
yeah,
see are a little more
yeah,
old school or traditional. And I mean, I'm just guessing too. You're closer to it, but I always think these brand things are really tough, and that's why I'm asking some of these
yeah.
questions because with like advertising, you can track, things like measure it. Oh, I put this many dollars in, I got
Right.
this many leads. But brand is extremely powerful if you get it right. But it's a lot of art and a little science, So,
Yeah, 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 yeah. I
um,
do. It is weird. I mean, it's you're. I think what's helped is that I mean, I have a beard,
you're
and
true to the brand.
yeah, 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 and I think that's uh, more of the secret sauce, so to speak, is that it's more like authentic. I think. Um, so it's yeah, and I think that's what we've communicated or tried to back up, like with our social media and stuff, is trying to just show who we are and more or less just be real and kind of introduce ourselves continually as real, normal people. I mean, normal,
Yeah.
for the most part. Um, but we like what we do, and we're not perfect, but we're all trying our best, and we love the people we work with. So it's kind of a maybe an invitation to more of a relationship, and people can kind of see if like, yeah, that's what I'm looking for, or that's not.
Yeah, I
You know,
think you hit on like the authenticity piece. I think is huge. And today's buyer is looking for that. They want to see the
right,
people and before
right,
they make a decision. So I think that's very true.
yeah.
You said you guys kind of you like what you do. I'm curious, like what kinds of projects do you guys do? Has that shifted from where you started 8 years ago to what you do now?
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning, it was anyone that will hire us, we'll try to try to do it,
Yeah,
figure it out, um, and then we eventually narrowed that down to really just like kitchens, baths, and basements. Um, so that's really kind of what our focus has been. Um, Obviously, we branch out some, but yeah, it's been helpful. It's been helpful for us to kind of learn or begin to specialize more. We get better at those rooms and spaces, and our craftsmen get better at those spaces too. So it's mainly kitchens, baths, basements. The
yeah.
the trio, the trinity. Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like that helps just systems efficiency, like all those things you
yeah,
get.
oh yeah,
I think a lot of people think when you go more narrow that you actually are limiting yourself, but I find you actually like you expand your abilities within those circles, and so you can do
yeah,
more
yeah,
advanced thing. I don't know, have you noticed
yeah,
that as you, yeah?
yeah. It's always paradox, right? Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it was super scary to do that because we started turning stuff away, and yeah, that was frightening. Um, but yeah, it's allowed us to get better at what we do and enjoy it more and create better products and have happier clients and so forth.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's a win for everybody, it seems.
Yeah. So thinking back to the kind of those first couple 3 years, what are maybe, one or two kind of bigger mistakes that you feel like you made if somebody's out there kind of they've got a newer business or thinking about starting a business, what
Yeah.
should they avoid?
Yeah, I mean, oh my gosh. I mean, I've made and continue so many mistakes, but I don't. I mean, I got into it because I don't know. I didn't know anything about business, and you know, every week I'm learning something new that I didn't know. Yeah, I mean, I made so many mistakes. A lot of it is for me. What? Yeah, I'm not good at all the important stuff. It turns out. Um, I think the best thing is just the people you put around you is like, it's just the number one thing always. You know, when it comes to your employees or coworkers, your team members, to your subs, to your clients, even, uh, just, you're either gonna, you know, they're either gonna support you, you're gonna do it together, or it's gonna be a battle. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's great advice. I mean, if you have good people around you, like everything else gets easier. And if you're like battling internally, it's like I got enough external challenges that this is just too much
Yeah.
work, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
that's great. As you were saying that, it reminds me. I follow a guy in totally different industry, but he has this saying, which is, I could live with myself if a customer said I'm too expensive, but never if they said the product wasn't good or the product was
Mm,
crap, or and I feel like
yeah.
a lot of that comes back to people, to your
Yeah. Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
If you have great people, they want to take care of the customer, like do the right thing, make the
Right.
project right. um yeah, so it
Yeah.
sounds like you may have gone through some people or figured that out in those early years, and
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, so you know, yeah, it's tough doing business. Um, I mean, a lot of us get into it because we were craftsmen or good at it, and then we start doing this and taking on more, and then we're outside of what we know, and yeah, it gets hairy quick. But there's a lot of things like what you guys do that really to come alongside people like us and help us figure our crap out.
yeah.
Um, yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, so aside from the people aspect, I feel like you said you got into it on the obviously the craftsman side, and there's all these
Mm,
other angles of the business, like sales, marketing, the finances. Which one
yeah.
of the like one which one of those other buckets was, you think, either the biggest challenging, or the one that when you finally cracked it, you're like, oh, this solved a lot of my problems?
Yeah, I mean, I do think the marketing and branding is huge, because it seems like when we are communicating or using it well and communicating kind of who we are and what we're about, then that attracts to us, or yeah, the one, employees who care about the same thing, and then clients who are on the same page with us, which then makes everyone happier, which is great. So I mean, I think that, and obviously there's always so much to learn and more to do in those arenas, that it's endless. But it's such a, I mean, we're always, with our branding and marketing, we're communicating something, um, and it's a message that's attractive to somebody or some types of people. Um, yeah, so I think us kind of finding that, or beginning to find that, or always trying to find and stay like true to who we are and our voice and what we care about and why we're doing what we do, allows the rest to happen.
So I think with branding, and marketing, kind of what we were talking about there, I feel like you've mentioned you're always communicating like something. You said you're always trying to work on so I'm curious, in terms of the Bearded Builders brand, what are some of
Mm,
those like words or phrases that you feel like define or describe the brand?
mm. Yeah. Um, yeah. One of the, I think, biggest things for us is that we realize like it takes all of us, and this is like a together thing. This is a cooperative thing. Um, so we're trying to really always think of ourselves as a team and a unit and together, and all those fun words. But really working together amongst our team, but also with the clients. And I think just the cooperation. What's the word? we'll use that, the cooperation between the clients and us and our field staff and designers, um, and our office staff is kind of one of our um, sorry, man.
No, you're good. These are deep questions for early
Yeah,
morning,
we'll see with this one. Yeah.
we'll just skip this. We'll go a different route
Okay.
unless you want to
Okay.
try it again.
No. Yeah, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no worries. All right,
Yeah.
let me give our editors another little clap here, and I'll take it another direction. All right, so we talked about a couple of like early lessons, surrounding yourself with good
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
What do you think have been a couple of like awesome milestones or big wins in your kind of 8-year journey so far?
Mm. Yeah. I mean, every year that we're still a business, it
It's a
seems like
good
a
thing, right?
huge, yeah. Um, yeah. That's a good question. I don't know. There's been so many times when it's, I don't know, all hands on deck, it seems, or, just hanging on by a thread and trying to make, living on a prayer to make payroll, basically. There's so many times when it's taking people doing an extra thing to kind of get us through or get the job done or to solve the problem or um, just come through to still be here and doing what we're doing is really cool. And yeah, each year that we're still here is amazing, and grateful for that. And every time, yeah,
Yeah, take it one step at a time, right?
yeah.
Yeah. No, people, don't, I mean, you're almost at that 10-year, mark, and most businesses
Yeah,
don't make it that far, believe it or not.
yeah.
You see a lot of businesses out there, but, statistically, I think it's only like 4% or something make it to a decade. So,
Oh, it's
yeah.
pretty wild. Yeah.
Um, well, back to the branding side for a quick second. For those listening that maybe like haven't thought about their brand a whole lot, or
Mm,
just how they're unique, or some of the things we've talked about, like what message would you say to them to kind of like urge them to at least dive into it and think about like what the brand means or how to be unique and different, because it sounds like it's certainly benefited you guys, but I think it is kind of one of those meaty topics where like it's hard to kind of figure out your brand and how to live it every day and
yeah.
communicate it every day. So what would you say to people listening that they haven't dove down that path super far?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it is tough, and it can often feel like there's no time to do anything like that. It does seem like you have your name or your image or your post or whatever it is that you're putting out there. You are communicating something, so it might be good to have thought or intention behind what that is. Um, I really think that book Start With Why is a fantastic place to start, and just finding who you are and why you're doing what you're doing, and then finding ways to communicate that. Um, I think it's important, and it could be just hugely beneficial in creating a place that you enjoy working with, people that you enjoy working with, um, which is, I don't know, pretty important, I think, and pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's well said. And I like the word you use there, intention, because whether you're posting once a month or you barely have a web presence or you're posting all the
Right.
time, like to your point, either way, you're communicating something to that
Right.
person. So yeah, I think that's well said. Eric, I've got one last segment of the show here, but
Yeah.
before I
Yeah.
get to that, if people want to check you guys out or find you online, or what's the best way to either get in touch or just find you guys?
Yeah, I think it's just Bearded Builders, or Instagram is probably the best. Kelly runs that, and she crushes it. And So yeah, that's the best way to find us, or beardedbuilders.com.
Cool. Yeah, and we'll put those links in the show notes. And if you guys haven't checked out their Instagram, definitely go hit a follow and get some inspiration on, you know, how you might apply some of that to your own brand. All right, Eric. So this last segment, we call it the Fast Five. So I'm going to hit you with 5 rapid fire questions, and then we'll wrap it up. So first question, favorite business book and why?
I would just say that, yeah, start with why. It's been hitting me lately. It makes so much sense to me as to why I like what, the brands that I like, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry, was that not fast? I gotta be fast.
No, that's perfect. Yeah, we've had some really long answers there, so you're right on target. All right, next question is, who's the most inspirational person in your life?
Oh my gosh. I think.
Don't worry, this is the hardest one. So
my kids right now. I have 5 kids, ages 15 to 9, and yeah, I mean, just the way that they live life is it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah. I'm sure that's a ball every day. Yeah. Or something. Yeah. All right. If you could have one superpower, what would that be?
Flying is, right? That's what everyone's. Yeah. I mean, yeah, flying would be dope shit. Flying would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Flying's a good one. All right. Describe yourself in 3 words.
Oh.
I know. I had to hit you with that last one. Yeah.
Patient, chill, or calm, maybe, and funny.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. Last question. If you could leave our listeners with one piece of advice, what would that be?
One piece of advice. Yeah. That's pressure. One piece of advice I would just say, we're talking about marketing, so yeah, find what you're doing this for. Yeah, find what you're doing this for and do it.
Yeah, have the North Star, right? Like where are you going? Yeah, no, I think that's great advice. I think that like those questions are the toughest to answer, but a lot of times they're the most important. So
yeah, I mean, there's so much room for improvement in this industry, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's so much room for us all to continue to push.
Yeah, we can all keep pushing forward. Well, Eric, this has been awesome. I really appreciate you spending some time with me and diving into the brand side. I feel like it's something we don't talk about enough and see enough of. So thanks for carving out some time with me.
Yeah, appreciate it. It's an honor, Spencer. Thanks very much. And you guys keep doing what you're doing, helping us out.
Cool.
We'll do better. All right, man.
Thanks.
Thank you.